So, as you may know, a series has been announced about the next generation Avatar, an Earthbender. But what you don't know is that there's another draft of this upcoming spin-off that Nickelodeon did not pick up. Because this happened when I went to pitch it.
Alright, rip up those writer rooms, cause I got one.
Oh. Yeah, so instead I'm gonna share it with you guys. So this whole idea is actually a combination of two fan ideas. The first was this post about the Avatar reincarnating into twins and sharing elements, which is, not how the cycle works, but to each their own. The more plausible idea is where one Avatar is special and the other is just a regular guy. The next is the controversial fan theory where the Avatar becomes Alright, so we need a name for the Avatar.
That's a great idea!
So honestly, this whole idea was scratched up with me and my friends while we were at a tiki bar, and literally when we were trying to figure out a name, we were like, oh, hey, you know, Sun Wukong is the super powerful guy who's also kind of a bad guy. And so we named him Avatar Sun.
Because we all know there's not enough references to that in the world already.
The story would focus on the corrupt Avatar Sun, who's tired of serving as a band-aid to the poor decisions of incompetent governments. And much like the villains of Legend of Korra, he'll go down a path of trying to correct the world by conquering the world. This time serving more like a Palpatine pulling puppet strings, while surrounded by a council of dark and not so good influencers. Oh! Meanwhile, his twin sister Piie, not that Piie, the one that's human. She's a nonbender, and honestly much more of a decent human being than the Avatar is, probably more worthy of the title. After hiding in fear for a little bit, she actually decides to journey around all 4 nations trying to find the best bender of each element to stop her brother from getting too powerful, because having an Avatar's main goal to deal with war politics would be very off balance.
Weird.
Traveling alongside her is the last remaining member of the White Lotus, Master Rohan. You may find that name familiar because he's the 4th son of Tenzin. He's wise and old like an Uncle Iroh figure, but he has a done-with-life personality, much more in tune with this picture here. Pursuing them is a spirit bender sent by Avatar Sun himself, Yin. She's the unrequited suitor of the Avatar, and much like how Zuko pursues the Avatar in hopes to regain his honor, Yin will pursue Pai in hopes to earn the Avatar's love. Where the parallels differ is that while Zuko would go down an arc of redemption, Yin will become more desperate and vile during her power crawl throughout the season. So in the end, she's arguably a greater threat than the actual Avatar.
It's like poetry, so if they rhyme.
Alright, so love or hate Legend of Korra, it did write the Avatar series into a corner, world-building wise. It first included futuristic technology, literally in the first season, and then it integrated the spirit realm into the world in the second season. This really just turns the world of Avatar either into a Pokemon city or basically Tomorrowland. But what would be interesting to see is a world where spirits are kind of taking over. With that all being said, I'm imagining a time period very similar to the 1980s, with a slight edge of cyberpunk. But there's going to be an economic divide where we start to see certain protected cities shine in advanced tech, while the poor areas are much more vulnerable to spirit infestation, which would look like places much more akin to The Last of Us. So with those developments, certain areas would be very advanced, while others would still be pretty retro. And I think it'd be a great opportunity to see some fresh takes on bending. In this series, there's going to be an earthbender from the inner city who applies dancing to his bending, like how the Sun Warriors did for firebending. And I even had this idea where a signature move of his is to unearth these terracotta puppets that can do his fighting for him, similar to Toph's Melon Lord soldiers.
I am not Toph. I am Melon Lord.
There's plans for a waterbender who carries bottles of different hallucinogens that she can bend at her enemies. And yes, one of those bottles can be cactus juice. Alright. But also I had the fun idea where she could work at a tea shop, some franchise version of the Jasmine Dragon, and just make boba drinks on the side. I don't know. If I was a waterbender, I would do that. Honestly, screw it, yeah, we need a boba bender. Like, every friend group needs a boba bender. It doesn't matter if they're, like, annoying or anything, just include them in, you know? Like just how in every friend group, you need that one person who works at a coffee shop so they can hook you up with free drinks. Have a boba bender. They don't even have to work at a boba shop. You can just show up, literally just like steal all like the matcha green tea, and then you can just like run. And the people at the front counter won't even care. It's not like they get paid more. These are good guys, so they probably wouldn't do that, but there'll be themes of morality. Anyway, for the firebender, I just imagine this geeky engineering student who uses lightning bending while working on different mechanical devices. It'd be really cool if Pie's team travels on some aircraft and the firebender would actually serve as the ship's mechanic. Yeah, well, I don't want to get too ridiculous. This ultimately will be a character-driven show where their emotions and human elements drive the story.
Hell yeah.
Oh, also, there's gonna be an animal sidekick who's a spirit oxcack that cooks meals for the group. His name's Gogi.